They compete based on the price of the item, of the product. So the one who gets the item is the highest what? Highest bidder. That's an auction. That's a normal auction. But a reverse auction is obviously the opposite of the normal auction, where you bid to supply the item at the lowest cost. That's reverse auction. Okay, so in an open auction, people bid the highest. Yeah, so the price, the item will have its own fixed price. It will start from there. Start bidding. The one who's going to bid the highest is the one who's going to get this, right? Whilst reverse auction is the opposite of that, where bidders will bid, the one who's going to bid the lowest is the one who's going to get this. Okay, that's how you obtain prices. But you can also use exhibitions to get prices. You can also use trade fairs. You can ask for requests for information to get prices. Okay, let's look at discounts. Importance of discounts in purchasing. Discounts. Do we know a discount? Discounts? Anybody?
It's sum of money that is being removed from
reduced from the initial price.
Yeah.
Okay. So if something is being sold at 10,000 and they give you a 1% reduction, they will remove 100. So you will buy it at 9,099 or 9,900. Yeah, that's a discount. So as procurement people, we also need to understand that there are possibilities that if we negotiate well, we can get discounts. So our initial example of a budget here. So we budgeted 15,000. We have come here and found that the food is selling at 16,700. You can walk out and say, my money is not enough. Right? But there's also a possibility that you can go and negotiate with this person to give you a discount so that it matches your budget. It's possible, right? Yeah. So effective negotiation is also very important in procurement. We know our budget is fixed, but can you not help us to do this? So there will be so many things. Maybe you buy in bulk, okay? Or maybe you give us prompt payment, or maybe you do this, maybe you do that. But just make sure that we are able to meet our budget. Okay? So as a procurement officer, as a buyer, you need to understand the concept of effective negotiation, but also bargaining for discounts. So let's look at the main categories of supplier discounts. We have got prompt payment, number one. So this is cash prompt payment. So if you're going to pay now, I'll give you a discount. No credit. Okay? So here, 16,700 and you only have 15,000. And you're still saying, okay, but 15,000, Iba, I think I'll give you after 2 days. She's good, already. You know already your budget is not enough. And you're still negotiating that they should give you 2 more days to pay the full amount. So if you have 15,000, give it to me now. I'll give you a discount. That's what they mean, prompt payment. And then there's quantity. This one is called buying in bulk. Okay, When you buy things in bulk, they also give you a what? A discount. We always do that when you go to the market. You buy from the same person this and that and that. You say, please, he'll give me a discount. I've bought a lot of things from you. Yeah. So that also helps us when we are buying things. Central medical stores, I gave an example of central medical stores. When they pull all those requirements from the hospitals, central hospitals, clinics, health centers, okay, and then they buy in bulk, they get a lot of discounts. Bulk procurement, consolidation procurement. And then status such as intermediary, agent, or stockist. So this is what happens. If you're buying directly from a manufacturer, you get more discounts than an intermediary or an agent. We know an intermediary, somebody who is a middleman, yeah? But if you go direct to the manufacturer, there are a lot of benefits that you get, including discounts. But if you go through the intermediaries or the middleman, lesser benefits that you're going to get. And that includes lesser discounts. And then we have got special discounts. These are seasonal or promotional. So in the newspapers, we always see month-end promotions. ShopRite, Sana, yeah? There's a reduction in price of various goods that they sell in their shops. Sometimes there can be school promotion. As we are opening schools in mid-September, you see a lot of promotion on bags, shoes, books, pencils, rulers, yeah? It's because it's promotional time. And then seasonal, sometimes we get seasonal discounts. For example, Christmas, we get a lot of discounts. Okay? So it's very, very important to understand these things. They matter a lot in procurement, and we need to be able to use them. A good procurement person understands the market environment very much. If you have knowledge of the market environment, procurement is not difficult because there's need for a lot of application. You see, we've gone into economics, yeah, demand and supply, understanding market conditions, but you can also go into accounting to understand how pricing comes in, cost management. Okay, so you need to be very sharp in the head to understand these things, and it helps. Let's look at inventory management and purchasing timing. So when we're making purchases, I gave an example of procuring fuel for Kamuzu Central Hospital, where we want to save lives of people by procuring diesel or petrol for the generators, but also for the ambulances. So purchasing has a serious impact on inventory management. Untimely purchases will affect inventory levels. You see that? Untimely purchases. So procuring things that are not supposed to be procured at that time, and then you keep them. And therefore, there's need to clearly use the appropriate intervals at which inventory is purchased and kept in the warehouse. Okay? How many of us have bought clothes that we are not using? But we bought. Yeah, more especially ladies. We buy clothes just by infatuation, just looking at it, it's got nice colors. You buy it, you go home, you find there's something very similar to that one, and then you decide to throw it. If you have a boy and a girl in the house, you find the lockers for a girl are full of clothes. There's a lot of poor inventory management by ladies. Okay, but what we are saying is it affects the storage capacity, right? Where we are keeping the clothes, how we are managing them, and the price that we pay. Lastly, let us look at the inventory management approaches. So we'll look at them in detail in our next class when we'll be doing inventory management. So these are some of the approaches: just in time, vendor managed inventory, last in, first out, first in, first out, minimum order quantity, consignment inventory. Okay, just in time. How many of us have heard about just in time? JIT. Have we ever heard about just in time? Okay, so the consumption happens when the goods are required. You don't keep in stock, right? Yeah, you don't keep in stock. It helps to keep, reserve space in a warehouse, but it's an expensive concept or an expensive approach. It requires proper timing, and that's why it is called just in time. So you only use it when it's required. Okay? Whilst vendor managed inventory, the inventory is at the supplier's premises, but it is yours. Okay? So let's say we have procured Nido from Chipiku. Nido milk, right? So in the vendor managed inventory or VMI, us as University of Lilongwe, okay, and then Chipiku. So we are going to buy Nido from Chipiku. Chipiku will still maintain the inventory at their warehouse. Are we together there? They will still maintain the inventory at their warehouse, but this is still ours. So we'll only call, let's say we've bought 10,000 tins of Nido milk. We'll only be calling the required quantities. So let's say today we'll call for 1,000 tins. Okay? So these 10,000 tins at Chipiku will not be sold. But because we don't have space to keep it, the vendor will be the one to manage it for us. And then there is consignment inventory. Consignment inventory happens in this way. So because we use a lot of Nido, right? Chipiku will come and establish a warehouse for Nido at Unilia. Okay, so there will be a Chipiku warehouse. Okay, so this Nido, the 10,000 will still remain Chipiku's product, but it will be in our campus. You see the difference? Vendor managed inventory, the stock will be at Chipiku. Okay? Whilst this one, the consignment stock, this milk will be at Unilia, University of Lilongwe. It will be here, but it will not be ours. It will only be ours when we start to draw. So let's say we'll draw 1,000, we'll only pay for 1,000 tins. Are we clear? Okay. Last in, first out. Have we ever heard about this? These are accounting concepts, but they also apply in inventory management. Last in, first out. Product that came last is going out first. And then there's first in, first out. A product that came in first is the first to go out. And then there's minimum order quantity, setting the lower order levels. Okay, so what you're going to do in that example is the moment you set up the minimum order quantity to say we'll be giving out 10,000 tins of milk to our students, but we would want to make an order when the levels drop up to 4,000. Okay, so the moment the quantities drop to 4,000, you make another order. That's what it means, minimum order quantity. Okay, so that we don't run out completely to zero, because we can consume it up to zero and then we start to make another order. Okay, but we don't want to run into that situation, so we set minimum order quantities. Any questions? Have we understood the impact of pricing? Any comments? Anything that we want us to share about pricing? Or any questions? No questions? All right. Let me just pass my